Welcome to the Play Choices podcast, a podcast you hear. I'm your host, V.
Hi, I'm the co-host, Lucas.
So we're going to spend this episode discussing the 5th chapter of Ride or Die. So this episode is not spoiler safe, so if you want to avoid spoilers for Ride or Die chapters 1 through 5, please go read those first, and we'll be here for you to come back and listen. How you doing?
Child. I'm good.
Good. This is one of those unusual days where I actually took a day off, so I've been running around, but it's been like a different type of running around, you know? Like, it's not the same as like my work running around, but I'm still tired of shit. Oh,
Because you plan everything that you need to do on a day off, so a day off isn't really like a day
yes.
off.
It's not really a day off. I was out there running errands.
It's so crazy because, like, do you even really have a day off until, like, retirement?
No,
I
you
just
really
feel like
don't.
even when you go on vacation, like, you're that's still a lot of, like, energy that you're putting into, like, just, like, whatever you have to do.
That's why I feel like you need a day off before and after the end of your vacation, because you need like a day
You
off to
do.
like sleep in before the vacation so that way you can get some decent sleep. And you need a day off so that way you can like recover from the transit time in
Absolutely, like
between.
you do. Like that's a life hack, guys. Maybe not so much like the day before, but definitely the day after of a
At least the day
vacation.
after. At
You
least the
gotta,
day
yeah,
after.
you gotta just marinate, you know? Like,
Yeah, you just gotta let that shit just rest. Well, we're back to our one true love. It's been a while, but we're back.
bitch. This whole fucking chapter, even the start of it, I said, "Oh, damn, bitch, you were sloppy."
Yeah, no, it's not. You know what? This is where things start to look like one of those NASCAR races where they're just going in circles, and it's like everyone's following the same messy ass track. I feel like we're just trying to see who's gonna get there first.
Exactly. Like this chapter was just so like the structure of it was a little random. Like you did a lot. Like there was a lot to do in this chapter.
Yeah, I remember I was making the episode notes for this a couple of weeks back, and I have seen because I keep my little documents titled based off of whatever the book name is and whatever chapters we're reading, and it just said Ride or Die Chapter 5, and I'm like, I must have not finished that document, and I opened it, and it was the exact length of a normal episode. I said, damn, Chapter 5 was meaty.
Yes, it is a
There's so
lot.
much going on in this chapter, and like I try to steer away from dedicating an entire episode to one chapter, but there's just so much that goes on here, and all of it's like linked together, and
Yes.
the conversations can take different turns depending on the dialogue choices you make. So it just is overall, it's just a lot of detail, and there's a lot of things that happen in this chapter. So
There are two separate like scenarios where there's three separate options. And I'm like, God,
yeah,
Jesus. I'm like,
yeah,
Lord.
we're gonna try our best to cover them, y'all. There's a
We're
lot
going
going
for our
on
best,
here.
okay?
But that's why we love Ride or Die, because I feel like it is, out of all of the books that I've read so far on the app, which I have read the majority of them, I feel like this is one of those books where your choices do matter the most, which is like not saying much because it's choices.
Right.
Like normally ironically your choices don't really change that much, but out of all of the books, I think Ride or Die is the one that kind of leans the heaviest on like the interactive part of the interactive fiction title of the genre. So I just say we should just dive in,
Let's do it.
and
I'm ready.
get reacquainted with our girl Ellie and our main man Logan. Let's just do it. So, the name of chapter 5 is A Wrench in the Gears, and as a reminder, the default MC name is Ellie Wheeler, so that's how we're going to be referring to the MC. The chapter summary says, someone knows about your double life. Can you trust them to keep your secret? You may not have a choice. ... I'm gonna insert some like copyright free apprehensive music after that.
I like that. I like that.
Just to up the ante. So the last time that we discussed Ride or Die, Jason was confronting Ellie about her charm bracelet being found at the scene where NPC was stealing a car. So Ellie is initially very shocked, and she can either deny that it's her bracelet, play it off, or ask if Jason has told her dad. Which one did you pick?
girl, I played it off, but like she's just
Mm-hmm.
not a good liar. But I played it off. I was
Ellie's
like,
not
"Oh,
a good
boo, thank
liar.
you." I said, "Thank you so much." And then she said, "Yeah, I lost it weeks ago." And I said, "Wait, already that don't add up." I said,
Mm-hmm.
"Already
Mm-hmm.
that does not add up." And he was like, "Oh, really? You said that, your dad gave you this for your birthday, and that was like right around the corner." And I was like, "Oh my god."
Yeah, Ellie just needs to either, like we said in previous episodes, just tell the truth or just shut the fuck up. Because
I'm trying to
every time
tell
she tries
you.
to lie, she does these grandiose lies that just don't make any sense. Like,
Ellie is the person where you're like, "Oh my god, you see that guy behind you? Don't look." And then she breaks her neck to turn around and
she
look, and you're like,
looks,
"Okay,
yeah.
think."
Are those people where you're like, don't point and then they point?
And they point.
Why'd you do that? Like, you just about to get everybody in this bitch in trouble.
For real.
If you play it off, Ellie will just straight up lie. She's like, "Oh yeah, I lost the bracelet a couple weeks ago," and Jason's like, "But you told me it was your birthday. Your birthday was like a week ago." And Ellie doesn't even. Here's the thing too. Ellie doesn't stick with the lie. She never sticks with the lie. She apologizes for it as soon as she fucks up. So she like profusely apologizes to Jason immediately after Jason points out that clearly she's fibbing. Regardless of whatever dialogue choice you make, Jason will assure Ellie that he's not going to tell her dad. Jason actually seems sympathetic, saying he understands why Ellie finds the life appealing since her dad is very clearly overprotective and doesn't let her get out of the house that much. Jason will say that he won't give her a lecture because he knows that she's smart and she, is intelligent enough to know that hanging out with that group is risky. And we'll get some internal monologue that Ellie has been like waiting to hear those same words for her dad. So we get some background into her relationship with her father, where clearly she just wants her dad to trust her, which is an interesting little like seedling to kind of implant in the reader's mind. Jason will also insist on Ellie calling him by his first name rather than calling him Detective Shaw. So Ellie can either thank him or ask him why he's helping her. Which one did you pick?
I said, "Why are you helping me?" Because again, we are stuck in this like naivete that like Ellie has formed. And she's like, just like, "Yeah, my dad doesn't let me do that. Thank you for noticing." Like, no, no, no. I don't care who you think or who you like. I don't
Right.
care. Like, I don't. Like, why are you helping me?
Well, there's a lot of things too that like in the dialogue just made me feel weird. Like when he was like, "Just call me Jason." I'm like, sir,
I was like, I don't like that. I don't like
I
that.
was like, you're either flirting with me or trying to get on my good side. And either way, you have no good reason to try to do that. At least nothing that's obvious to me. So I didn't really like it. So I did the same thing. I asked him why he was helping me. He says, I was young. I made a mistake one time, and I don't want that mistake to define you. Again, just being a little bit too understanding. Like for a cop, he's really not playing hard cop or like hardball at all. And it's just a little bit too friendly. So Jason will request that Ellie gives him a ring if she ever finds out what the crew is doing something big. And Ellie will suddenly realize that she's being used by Jason to get intel on NPC. And that's why Jason is protecting her from her dad, because he would never agree to using Ellie like this. So the nice guy act from Jason drops pretty much immediately once he realizes that Ellie doesn't fall for it.
And I'm proud of her. I really am for
Oh,
putting two
yeah.
to two together. I am so proud of her because, and
Yes.
it's just so crazy because like his dialogue, like I was like, damn, like you really had a plan because he straight up was like, "Oh, I knew you were smart." I said, "Oh no."
Yeah. No, that's the one thing. Again, people try to be like, "Oh, Ellie's a dumb bitch." She's not a dumb bitch. She can put two and two together. Like her like intelligence is like the one thing that is her saving grace in this like entire series. It's like the only thing that's her saving grace. Because other than that, like the bitch ain't got no street smarts. She ain't got no common sense. She has no experience. So like her intelligence is truly the only thing that she can lean on to like survive these type of situations. So I'm glad that she picked up on it because Jason was acting hella sketchy. And I honestly would have been a little bit upset if I had to play an MC that like didn't understand what was going on. And Jason will admit that his team doesn't have any evidence on the NPC, but if they caught them doing something big, it would help put them away for a long time. So at this moment, Ellie can either promise Jason that she'll call him or admit that she can't bring herself to do it. So what did you pick?
I said, no, you're gonna have to find some other snitch. This is ride or die, baby. I
Mm,
ain't no fucking snitch. Period. The
mm.
fuck? Go on, Jason.
Oh, I said I'm a call because
Uh,
the last thing I'm gonna do is admit in front of a cop that I'm not gonna work with him.
but no, it's so crazy because like even when I was like, no, I'm not working with you. Like the dad comes up and like he was just like, oh yeah, I'm just giving her a hand, like we're just like
Hmm.
working with each other. And I was like, no, we not, Jason. No, we not.
I just told him I'm gonna give him a call because I just don't see. You're like a little baby girl teenager. How you gonna straight up tell this man like, no, I'm not gonna help you? I'm gonna at least save some face and be like, yeah, I done fucked up. You caught me. Don't worry, I'll help you.
She
I'm
playing the
at
sides. Okay, I see you. I
right.
see
No,
you.
the way that he gonna play a game with us, the way that he try to sit here and play nice with us, I'm gonna play nice with him in front of his face at least. But there's just something like already we're off on the wrong foot because Ellie already caught Jason trying to use her. So it's like it's not a good start to the working relationship. You know, when you get the feeling that you're being used.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like you getting the feeling like you don't have a choice, like you being
Yeah.
blackmailed.
Yeah, I mean, he pretty much was asking nicely, but I think there's definitely the implied like if you don't, shit's gonna get fucked up for you kind of
Oh,
thing.
absolutely, absolutely.
So, yeah, I just went ahead and I was like, "Don't worry, Daddy Jason. I'll call you whenever something happens," and got my ass out of that situation. Thank God her daddy came up and interrupted the conversation because Lord, I was sweating during this scene. I felt like I was being interrogated.
You said, "Oh no, he about to take me downtown."
No, for real. And like it's not you're not even in your own home, you're in his house. Like you can't even run because you don't even know where you are and like he knows the whole floor plan. It's too much.
Can you imagine your dad walking into the kitchen like, "Hey, where are you guys going?" Like you getting your shoes on, you getting, Jason grabbing the car
Mhm.
keys, and it's like, "Hey, where you
Yeah.
going?" And you look at your dad like, "Interrogation room. We headed down to the station right now."
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. Like, you can't even get your dad's help because if your dad finds out, you're in double trouble. Now you're in trouble with the police and you're under parental trouble too with your dad now. So, really, there was no one on Ellie's side in that whole house, not
You
even
are
Jason's wife.
absolutely right. Holy hell! I just not realized like literally best case scenario is that you become like an anonymous tipper and like that way your dad never finds out, like like absolute worst case scenario you do have to betray
Yeah,
the crew. You can be like an anonymous like tipper or whatever, but like you have to like not involve your dad, which is like crazy because like he's the one person that you would want to involve because he knows everything about the law. Like
right. Yeah, and I mean, it's your dad. You're gonna want to like pull him in and like lean on him for support. I mean, I guess not, based off of the the internal dialogue we got from Ellie about like her dad not trusting her. So I don't really know. I don't really think that's how their relationship actually plays out. But yeah, I mean, Jason knows how to pull the strings because he was basically like, yeah, you have this picture perfect life, and like I know your father's relationship is important to you, and I'm ready to ruin that bitch in a second. Let me know.
okay, so
What do
let
you
me
want to
ask
do?
you.
Before we get on with the rest of the episode, let me interrupt with some plugs. You can leave us a voice message at anchor.fm slash play dash choices dash podcast slash message. It could show up in a future episode. You can also directly support this podcast by going to anchor.fm slash play dash choices dash podcast slash support, which will allow you to support us on a monthly basis. You can also go to streamlabs.com slash play choices podcast slash tip to make a one-time tip. All of these links will also be available in the episode description. Thank you for your support, and let's get back to the episode.
Do you
Uh-huh.
think Ellie? You think that's a little prideful for her to still like think like, because like I can understand like my dad not trusting me in some scenarios, but like I feel like this would be a situation where like obviously he's right not to trust me. Like, I'm pretty sure what he thinks is like, like the car license thing and maybe like staying out too late. And like, obviously, he favors like academics and like you being on track for college.
Mm-hmm.
But like, there is like, I just feel like if I came up to him and I was like, hey, I'm part of like, this car crew and like I have, been in a couple pink slips. Lord knows, definitely after this chapter, I'm like, how am I going to phrase this? Do you think that her pride and her like trying to like tell herself that she can handle the situation and that she's a grown woman and like she can like escape the situation that she put herself into? Do you think that's more prideful or just like fear of like her dad's retaliation if he finds out?
I think it's fear of her dad's retaliation.
He might crucify her.
Well, I mean, you have to think about it. That's the only living parent she has left. He's the only semblance of like a regular home life that she has. And like you can see her trying to juggle both of her lives. Like she clearly doesn't want her father to know. And I don't think it's purely because she's afraid of him. I think she does care about his opinion. I mean, that's why she goes out of her way to try to impress her father for like her entire childhood. Like I think she definitely does care about him. I think she does care about her opinion. I think she feels a little smothered right now. And probably has been feeling smothered for a long time, but I think a lot of it is primarily driven not necessarily from pride, but from her like just wanting her father to have a positive opinion on. And it's a lot of pressure too. Like when the only family that either of you has left is each other. That's a really big kind of pressure to put on a single person. I'm sure he feels it. I'm sure she feels it. To give some more sympathy to the dad.
That is true because I feel like in the dad's eyes, the worst case scenario that she could come up with is like, "Hey, dad, I need a plan B," instead of like, "Hey, dad, I'm facing felony charges."
Right. 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 Yeah, I don't think her dad is like at all suspecting the level of like criminal activity she's taken up over the past like week or two.
she she literally went from like good girl to like, "Dad, I'm on the whole cast of Fast and the Furious now."
I'm dating Vin Diesel.
Absolutely.
As someone who's never seen a Fast and Furious movie in my entire life, that may be an incorrect reference, so do not come for me because I promise you I do not care. If it's
Girl,
wrong, it's wrong.
listen, there ain't no point now. There's like 10 of them. I can't.
No, I'm certainly not gonna catch up. Oh my god, my boyfriend was like, "Oh, Fast and Furious is like my favorite movie series." I was like, "Well, hope you enjoy it by your damn self." Cause
Listen, there are some things that's like a series I'm like, oh my god, like I would love to like have someone like watch that with me. Let's sit down, let's be cute. Fast and the Furious, it's not one of them. It's
let me
not.
tell you what's another thing that you love that I looked it up on Netflix and I was like, absolutely not. Grey's Anatomy, 26
It's too long.
seasons. What are
It's
we doing? What are we doing? There's no way there's that much plot to sustain it. And I'm just all these, and it was one thing I was like, maybe the episodes are short. No, bitch. No, they're not.
and then it gets worse because after season like either 13 or 14, they come out with Station 19, which is like a spin-off that like ties both shows together pretty like, pretty closely. And it's just like God, I can't. I gave up after season 17. I'm gonna get back into it, but I just
15.
can't. I understand, baby. I understand.
No, there's so
It's
much.
like how I feel about Supernatural now. Why?
Yo,
Who are we
Supernatural, and
fighting?
it finally ended, and it was a bad ending. It was really bad.
It was the ending that should have been the ending way sooner. Like I feel like
Yeah.
at some point you went through too much for that to be the cliche ending. Like you
Yeah,
just you
exactly.
go through too much.
Exactly. Exactly. And you give them this lackluster ending. We're getting off
We
topic.
get off topic. Let's.
But that's just me saying that like I've never seen Fast and Furious. I will never see Fast and Furious. I think maybe he can wrestle me down and make me watch like one movie. I will agree to my compromise is one movie.
Okay,
One.
then it has to be Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. Don't let anyone say anything otherwise. Okay, it just gotta be because Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift is one of the best Fast and Furious there is. It just the Japanese culture that was embedded in the movie.
Mhm.
It's just good. It's good.
Okay. I'll let y'all know when I watch it. I'm gonna I bet you I'm gonna go up to him and say like we can watch this one. He's gonna be so excited. Okay, okay. I'll come back. I'll come
And
back later and
also,
we're
just
gonna.
to put a little bit of sprinkle, it's one of the only like it's not a standalone in the series, but it's something that you can watch without having to see any prior Fast and the Furiouses.
Ah,
So like
okay.
if you just watch it, like it'll be fine. That there's not, like you're just gonna it's just gonna be like a regular movie.
Okay, so my compromise is one movie and I get to pick and it's this one. Okay.
Yep.
That's my compromise. Oh, okay, let's get back into the plot. So the scene changes to the next day where Ellie is getting school pictures taken. Afterwards, Rhea and Darius will ask Ellie if she's okay because she seems a little off, and Ellie lies and says that she's actually worried about finals, and in reality, she's worried about Jason's offer from the night before. As she should be, bitch, because now there's a cop onto her. I would be nervous too. So the photographer will stop and ask if he can take a photo of Rhea and Darius. Darius will respond excitingly, but Rhea will cut him off and decline. Darius will point out that she usually loves taking photos together, and Rhea will snap on Darius. Darius, who is very clearly stung, will walk off. And when Ellie asks Rhea what's wrong, Rhea also dismisses her and reveals that she's hurt by Ellie not spending much time with her lately. Ellie can offer to get dessert with Rhea and catch up for a diamond scene. Did you take this?
I did. I did.
I feel like you have to. This is your childhood best friend. How you not? And we
Exactly.
all know Ellie's been distant, bitch.
It hurts to feel like your best friend can't come to you, or vice versa. Like when you've realized, like, damn, like I really haven't been keeping in touch with them. Like we got to change that, and like that's where action starts. So I was like, no, baby, let's
Yeah.
go. We in the middle of school, but let's go ahead, let's get some ice cream.
Well, that's what I really feel like. I've been going through some like similar shit where like my schedule has gotten a little bit busier and I'm like looking around. I'm like, sometimes a friend will like text me and I'll be like, damn, I haven't talked to that bitch in like a month. And I'm like,
It
I need
really
to
be
get
like
back.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes your life just gets busy and then you're looking at your phone and someone sent you a Snapchat and you're like, damn, I haven't even taken the time to like open up or like respond to them. And yeah, I was like, you have to. It's there, especially for childhood best friend. Like she's been there for you. You guys have
Hmm.
been besties. She's clearly going through something. Darius is like one of the nicest people ever, and she's ripping him open a new asshole. So clearly something's going wrong. So yeah, I took this fucking scene. So during the scene, you guys will go get some ice cream, or was it froyo? One of the two, some sort of icy dessert. And Rhea will open up saying that everything is changing, including Ellie. She is stressed that Ellie is developing a new life, even though she feels guilty about feeling stressed about this. Ellie promises to be better at communicating what's going on in her life in the future and will ask Rhea about Darius, saying that he hasn't changed at all. Rhea points out that that's actually the problem and that they will be attending different schools next year, and these schools are 7 hours apart, and she's questioning if she actually wants to do long distance for, next couple of years. She's afraid that she's actually might be too in love and too attached to him, which has made her afraid to be on her own. So the two will console each other and the scene ends. So, what are your thoughts on Rhea and Darius's relationship now that she's like opened up about this?
You become infatuated with someone during middle school, like during that like weird puberty era, and then like you go through that, and then now you're about to step out as a young adult and like attend college, and it's like it's very life altering, it's very life shaking, because like
Mhm.
it's so funny. So many people say that, like, we're trying to prepare you for when you go, but like, there is no preparation that be there. Like, they just throw you to the wolves. And
No.
like,
Yeah.
I understand that, like, do I love you enough to let you go and like become a man and find yourself? Because like, college really is all about finding yourself. Like, it really is.
Mhm.
As much as I don't want to do this like cliche like, oh, like some of your college experiences is like are your best. Like some of my college experiences are my best, some of them are also my worst, but they both have shaped me in incredible ways. And so I mean, like, I feel her, and that's why I was like, you gotta talk to him about this, because this is definitely a decision that both of y'all need to make on your own. I understand I'm gonna be here as your best friend, but either way, it's just like it's a lot of anxiety, a lot of self-deprecating. Like, do I do this for myself or do I do this for the man that I love? Am I holding him back if we stay together? Am I breaking his heart if I let him go? Like, it's a lot. It's a lot to take on.
Right. I mean, I think for me, I'll be honest, I'm kind of heartless when it comes to this kind of stuff. Like, I very much believe that when it comes to like college and young adult years, you should just be single. I know that that's not, if you're someone who has a high school sweetheart or a college sweetheart, then I'm sorry. If it worked out for you, then it worked out for you. But for me, being someone who was single for a very, very long time, um, well, let me give some background. So I was in a relationship that preoccupied a lot of my life, and it wasn't a good relationship. So it's probably what's coloring this advice and this perspective. But I do fucking wish I was single, so I could have been focusing on me, myself, and and investing more time into things that would have made me happier. And then I, spent the next couple of years single. And now I'm in a relationship now, which is fun. He's in the other room, hopefully not listening to me record this. And I don't know. I just feel like there's something about being single for a significant amount of time that is just like, it just develops you as a person. Like, I do feel like if you grow up in your formative years in a relationship with somebody, like, I do think you do get a little bit too comfortable with it. And I think it is healthy to learn how to be single and learn how to like be by yourself. Like, I'm do not at all regret the amount of time that I was single, because I felt like it was definitely very necessary for me in my development. So that's just the way that I feel about it. And plus, like, I don't know if you've seen those long distance college couples. That's just painful to watch. It's really bad. I've never seen it work out well for anybody. Now, do I think Rhea and Darius are very cute together? Absolutely. I think the world of Rhea, I think the world of Darius, I think they're very amazing characters. I think they're adorable together. I just think that this is a rough time to be in a relationship, is all, I'm trying to say. I honestly could go either way. If they want to stay together, I'm like, cool, you do that because y'all are cute. But if they break up, I would completely understand where Rhea's coming from. Like, I would not fault her for wanting to
Absolutely.
be single.
Absolutely. I said, girl, you got the power, baby. You got the power.
Yeah, it's all in your hands, bitch. Do whatever you need to do. So, okay, so let's move on to the next scene. So Rhea and Ellie will return to school and they will find Logan in the parking lot. Our man, waiting for Ellie. So Logan will reveal that he actually had business with Brent, but he waited for Ellie in case he, could see her, which is so cute. Ellie will warn Logan that he needs to be careful with school security since they have cameras all over the parking lot. So this man just like rolling up whenever, just hanging out wherever. Again, not that we can be surprised. He is our little criminal, I guess. Our little baby criminal. He's not a baby though. He be doing some felony ass shit. Let me stop. Let me stop patronizing him. So Logan will invite Ellie to skip class to practice driving, but Ellie will invite him to pretend to be a student so he can join her in class. So inviting him in to be a student is a diamond scene, but you can either just skip class and leave with him, or you can go to class without him. So what did you pick?
I had to see him as a student. Like, I literally just had
Mm-hmm.
to. Like, I thought it would be so freaking funny.
Okay. So if you take the diamond scene, the two will decide on a secret identity for Logan, making him an exchange student. The scene can reveal, depending on your choices, that Logan has actually gone to France before for a few jobs. The identity does fool the teachers, and they're able to attend multiple classes together as well as have lunch at school. And at the end of the day, Logan says that it feels like being in an alternate universe, but will admit that he can see why Ellie enjoys school. Ellie can either say that she enjoys the challenge of school or say that it's not so great. So, how are you choosing to characterize Ellie during these scenes? Do you feel like you're upholding, like, the Ellie that enjoys school, or do you feel like you're keeping to an Ellie that, like, doesn't really. She's kind of losing the passion for education?
I still wanted her to, like, favor education. Like, I still said that, like, this is an environment where, like, I can challenge myself.
Mm
Because, like, I mean, like, in retrospect, like, I understand being free and, like, doing this, but, like, school is what I'm good at. It's what I know.
hmm.
It's
Mm
just
hmm.
something that's, like, embedded in my DNA. Like, I am not good out here playing Grand Theft Auto. Like, I can't.
Yeah. Well, I also just feel like it's like if you pick an LD that says like, "Oh, school isn't so great," then it's like, why is she pushing herself? You're really trying to get me to believe that she's doing all of this work just for her dad. Like, I do feel like what makes the most sense to me is to characterize an Ellie who does find a certain level of personal satisfaction in schoolwork. Because otherwise, like, why is she making all these plans to go to this like top college just like across from the country?
Right, and she wouldn't spend her time like insulting Ingrid as much as she does if she didn't if she didn't care about school.
Yeah, she's clearly competitive at the very least. Even if she isn't passionate about schoolwork, she clearly like wants to be on top. Before we continue with the rest of the episode, I do want to remind everyone that if you have any questions or comments that you would like to be included in a future episode, please email us at playchoicespodcast@gmail.com. Questions can be related to books we've recorded episodes on, books that we haven't read yet, or even questions you'd like to ask us. Please specify if you want a shout out, otherwise, all emails will be anonymous. Alternatively, you can go to our Ask box on playchoicespodcast.tumblr.com and submit a question. Just specify that is for the podcast and we'll be sure to include it. And back to our episode. And I don't think that that's motivated by her dad, because I think her dad would be happy with like any good grades that she got. But to be on top, that's like a whole other level of competition. So I do feel like it does make sense for her personality to enjoy the challenge of school. Of course, you can, pick whatever version of Ellie you want to play. So if you say you enjoy the challenge of school, Ellie will reveal that she enjoys improving herself rather than trying to beat Ingrid. Logan seems to resonate with the idea and they will bond over this, and Logan compliments her again, saying it's nice to see her in her element. Now, if you do choose to skip class, Ellie and Logan will go to the side of campus and practice parallel parking, and there is an opportunity to make out with him too. It's a cute scene. And then you can just go to class without him, which honestly, there's really no additional scenes. You just leave and go to class and skip to the next scene. So, a few days later, Ellie will meet the crew at a drive in theater. And when I say crew, I mean everybody's there, including Colt.
Everybody is there, yo. Everybody there.
It's a whole party. So, Logan will greet Ellie, again asking if her dad has mentioned the crew lately, and the movie will start. And Ellie can either sit with Logan, Mona, or Colt, Toby, and Hemina in one car. So, where did you sit?
Listen, I'm not gonna lie, I sat with Colt.
Oh,
I'm still trying to fill him out. I
okay.
don't necessarily think that like I want him to be an LI, but I do want to know more backstory about him.
Okay, got you. I will say, so in my notes, I just said that Logan and Mona have flirty scenes. There's not really anything specific that I'll mention. But I did go into more detail on the scene with Colt, Toby, and Hemina, because, like you said, this is kind of like one of the first times we really get to learn something about Colt. Mona, we haven't really had a lot of face to face time with her, but her scene didn't really reveal that much. It was just her being like both threatening and sexy at the same time, which is just like what we come to expect from her at this point. um, so I'll just go into more detail about the scene with Colt. So Toby and Hemina will actually leave to get popcorn, which will leave Colt and Ellie alone. Ellie will try to start a conversation with Colt, which will eventually lead to discussing his relationship with his dad, where Colt seems very distant from the conversation. Ellie can either assert that Kaneko loves Colt or can say that Colt doesn't need him. If you say that Colt doesn't need him, Ellie will finish by saying that it doesn't matter how much someone loves you if they don't let you live up to your potential, which Colt agrees with. So I will point out a parallel here is that, like, it seems that a lot of the potential bonding that can happen between Ellie and Colt has to do with their dislike for their fathers.
Yes, yes.
So the relationship makes sense if you like don't fuck with school and if you don't fuck with your dad. But I think that if you play an Ellie who's like, yeah, I still love my dad and yes, I still love school, to me, like that dialogue doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. Yeah, you're right. I completely agree.
So what's interesting is kind of like obviously we know Colt's an ally. So it's kind of like he's an ally that makes sense if you want to be this person who like totally rejects the path that your father has put in front of you. So I don't know, what is your impression of Colt? Like how did this conversation like change? Did you get what you wanted out of this conversation?
I did, but like I also didn't because like it's so crazy because to me, Cole is someone who like we could become essentially because like Cole is, somewhat educated. Obviously is attending college, but yet he still like wants to break out of the rules that his dad has set for him. And I feel
Mhm.
like that could be Ellie potentially like down the line. But it's weird
Mm.
because the way they write Cole is almost like how Logan should be written, because
Mm.
Logan should be like the whole like, yeah, fuck your dad, come hang out with me, like dads are losers. But like
Right.
Logan is very much like, I want you to be happy, like in every sense of the word, no matter like what
Mhm.
that means. And so that's to me why Logan is the better Li. It's just because of how he's written. He's written better than Cole.
I I think that whether you think an ally is written better, again, is going to apply to what version of Ellie that you're playing.
True, true that.
I think if you're someone who hates your dad and who hates school, the cult arc is going to make a lot more sense. But if you want to be with someone who just like loves you for the way that you are, Logan's it. And it just depends on how you want to play Ellie. I agree with your assessment. I think that for me, Logan is the preferable Li, but Colt's fine as fuck, y'all. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not even gonna front. Like this man's attractive, and I
It's the
like his
broodiness for
dialogue.
me. It's just, oh,
Yeah, yeah.
it's like, he just there to hover. Like he just there. Like he just
Yeah,
like he's just there. He's like, hey, my dad kicked me out. I'm here. I don't
pretty
know.
much.
There's just
He's
something
like, I
about that.
have to, I have to come here because if I didn't, then I would be alone in the garage with my dad, and I don't want that.
Yes, yes.
Is the vibe that I'm getting. So later, Ellie will go to the concession stand to get popcorn for the group when she runs into Salazar, who is the guy who lost the race in the sideshow from chapter 2. So he heard that the NPC was there and apparently planned to jump them with his crew because he expects money from Logan for the damage to his car. And then he grabs Ellie to use her as blackmail. Extortion? I don't know. I don't really know what he grabbed her for, but Logan will interrupt and save Ellie. And Ellie begs Logan to run because it's 5-on-2 at this point, and Logan is like, no, it's about to be 5-on-1 because you have to go.
That
And
dialogue. Oh,
mm-hmm.
oh, that dialogue. Oh,
Again, the way that Logan gets his pussy wet with one
I'm
sentence,
trying to
it's
tell you. Ooh,
unbelievable. Unbelievable.
ooh.
He'll punch one of the other like rival gang, and Ellie can either run or stay. So what did you do?
I stayed.
Yeah,
I did. I stayed.
yeah.
Um, you know, I don't know how much help Ellie would give, but I know two people fighting is better than one person fighting, and
Mm-hmm.
it's called Ride or Die. And I was like, there was a lot going on in my head because I was like, damn, I just left Colt's car, and now like Logan trying to save me, and it was just so much.
Right, because I was just trying to get some, like, Reese's Pieces, that's all I was trying to get, like, I was just trying to get a little popcorn, maybe some Twizzlers, maybe some Swedish Fish, and now I'm in a gang fight, and, like, I just
Yeah, because first of all, let's be honest. Toby, he said, here, 100. I said, oh, no problem. Thank
Mhm,
you.
yeah.
Thank
Now
you.
I'm worried about coming back without the 100 and without the goldfish, you know what I mean? That's a stressful situation to be put in.
It
So
is. It is.
I'm pretty sure that in most of my playthroughs I pick stay, but obviously like I played this book like 1,000 times. So let's just go through run first and then we'll talk about what the staying looks like. So if you pick run, Ellie will hide nearby, and the narration is honestly really fucking gruesome. It describes Ellie hearing the sounds of Logan being hit, like just like the fist hitting him getting kicked, which is like, oh my god. When you read that, I feel like I just kind of cringe because I could like imagine what that sounds like. And then the crew will eventually show up because Ellie will text them for help. But it's not long after that some damage has been done to Logan. Logan gets fucked up. And then if you pick stay, Ellie will stay and watch until Logan is thrown to the ground and Salazar starts kicking his ribs. So she'll grab a piece of asphalt. Asphalt. This bitch grabs like concrete off of the ground and hits Salazar in the back, bitch.
It's a vibe. It's like literally like what can I use as a weapon? This chunk of asphalt that's not, cemented to the ground. Oh well, like okay.
Honestly, that's high key some shit I would do because I'm not a person with a lot of physical strength. I cannot be yanking this bitch off of anybody. So you just gotta find something to attack with. And let me tell you, Ellie fucking ruthless. She could have killed that man if she had just like went 3 inches up, she would have killed him.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
She could have paralyzed him if she hit his back in the right spot. So she hits Salazar's back, and this gives Logan time to kick back. Ellie is grabbed by a different, I guess I'll call him a goon, because I think that's at some point they described him in the
They
narration
do.
like
They
that.
do.
Yeah. So she's grabbed by someone else who throws her into a nearby car, and Logan is unable to save her because he very quickly gets beaten down again. Mona does eventually come up behind Salazar and holds a knife to his throat. Hemina handles another one of Salazar's goons because, let's not forget Hemina's a big ass bitch.
Yep.
And
Yep.
Colt will fly by on his motorcycle and sideswipe another one of Sal's crew.
I
So,
said,
I mean,
damn, when y'all show up, y'all show up. You
showed
hear
the fuck
me?
up. And the way that Colt is hard. They both fine. I don't know which
Uh
one.
huh.
I don't know which one. It's very difficult. It's weird because during the first playthrough, I really didn't have any sort of appeal towards Colt. But let me tell you something. During this playthrough, something about him is just making. Ooh, she's
Yeah.
fluttering. She's fluttering. That's all I'm saying. She's fluttering a little bit. That's all I'm gonna say.
Everyone in this scene, it was like, the pocket knife to the throat, old girl choking
Mhm.
the man out,
Yep.
Colt riding his motorcycle, taking bitches out. I said, damn,
Yep.
okay. I said, all
Mhm.
right, okay.
Mhm. I said, "Damn." Something about the solidarity of a group of people standing up together is just
Yes.
when one of them gets
Yes.
hurt, it's just so like
Yes.
it's one of my favorite tropes. I love a scene where a group of people come together to defeat like one another group of people. It's so good.
Yes. I love it.
So the crew will leave the drive-in, deciding to take Logan home since he's hurt, and there's a diamond scene to tend to Logan. Did you take it?
I did. I
Of course.
did.
I don't even know why I asked. I
I
asked and I was like, I
did.
should have just went into the description of the scene.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, of course. I don't know. There was just
Mhm.
something about. Here's the thing. Like, if you set up a diamond scene well, I'm gonna take it. And like,
Mhm.
it was just like, the anxiety of like surviving that, and then he's wounded, and like,
Mhm.
it literally said he got hit, and then the next scene, his photo, you saw he had a black eye. And I said, "Damn, that was fast, boy. That was
Yeah,
fast."
they got him good. Yeah, this man got
Mhm.
fucked up.
Mhm.
So of course, I also took the diamond scene. Duh, y'all know me. It is a her comfort scene, one that I actually, quite enjoy. I found it interesting. As with all of these scenes, you have to undress the ally. I wish you could see the face I was giving. You got to get him naked. And am I upset about it? Fortunately, I'm a doctor, so I'm professional.
Listen, what made me mad was the option. It was like turn away or whistle. I said, why can't we just be normal? Like, why can't we just
Yeah.
stare? Like, what?
It's literally just like male chest. It's not explicit. I mean, you can look.
And it's probably
Like,
bruised.
it's probably bruised. Yeah, I don't know. That's the one thing is like Pixelberry sometimes be over sexualizing these scenes like a little bit. Like I get it. He's hot, he's muscular, and oop, he needs to take off his shirt because someone has a bruise from his 3 broken ribs that he got while he was being pinned
Right,
down to the
right.
ground. It's like the way that she'll sexualize this is very weird.
But the
Very
rest of the
weird.
scene, flawless. It was good. It was
Good,
good.
amazing. So in the middle of, getting tended to, Logan will stop Ellie and confess that he's never had anyone take care of him like that before. And depending on your choices, he will also apologize to Ellie for getting them involved in this. So they will go downstairs to get more ice for Logan, and which is when Ellie will either apologize for running away, or if you didn't run away, Logan will realize that Ellie's actually hurt because remember she got thrown into a car. So if Ellie ran away, Logan will just reassure her that she was just doing what he told her and confesses that he would be devastated if something had happened to her. If Ellie didn't run, Logan will brush her hair away from her face, which will reveal the cut. Logan will sadly ask her why she came back to him and tells her that she has to learn to be able to leave him. And he presses this on her until she agrees.
I don't like that. I don't like that. That broke my heart. I don't like that.
Mhm. Yeah, when he says like you have to know how to leave is like
It's just so
cuz I
crazy because it's
can't.
really adding on to the whole, like, you can't love me trope. Like, you
Pretty
cannot love
much.
me.
Pretty much. And was he wrong? No.
No.
He was not wrong. Because look what happened to her.
He's
I mean,
not.
these goons, they don't give a fuck. They didn't say, oh no, I won't touch. No, they said, I will beat a bitch up. I will beat a bitch up. I don't care what gender she is. I don't care how old she is. I don't care how small she is. They took her ass and tossed her. I mean, she did throw some asphalt on Salazar's back, so I guess, if I was a goon in his crew, I probably would have done something similar, but
Right.
she kind of got
Right.
fucked up. She kind of got fucked up. So during this scene, Ellie will notice a blueprint on a countertop downstairs. She can either look at it or look away, and these choices all seemingly connect to Ellie gaining more intel on the crew to share with Jason. So did you look?
I'm not gonna lie. I did look. I did look. I was
Mhm,
like,
mhm. I don't care whether it's to help Jason or not. I'm a nosy bitch at the end of the day.
exactly, exactly. Because here's the thing. We have this consistency of like his problems and like for some reason I get roped into them. So I need to know what we
Mhm.
about to get into.
I need to know what next bad idea you're gonna give me next.
Right, right. Like maybe I could go ahead and like sort out how to save you, you know? Like,
Oh my god. You're like, let me look ahead in the notes so I can see.
I'm looking at the blueprints and then my next question is about to be you still got the police scanner in the car, right? Cuz we going to need that. Like
Before we continue with the rest of the episode, let me interrupt to share our socials. We are at Play Choices Podcast on Instagram, Play Choices Pod on Twitter, and we're also on playchoicespodcast.tumblr.com. I'll post any episode notes relating to this week's episode on Tumblr. We're also available for streaming on all major platforms. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please rate and review, as reviews help us in the platform's algorithm. If you leave us a 5-star review, we'll read it on the podcast. As always, we are a growing podcast. If you see us on your socials, we appreciate a reblog, a retweet, or a share depending on the platform you see us on. We also love it when you share our podcast with your choices-loving friends. And back to the episode. I also looked, like I said, I'm a nosy bitch. So if you do, Ellie will note that it looks like the blueprint of a factory and the initials VRT are on the corner. Logan will notice that you're staring at it and will put it away. And when Logan comes back, he'll notice that Ellie is emotional. Ellie can either tell him the truth or hide it from him. So what did you do?
again, Ellie, we not good with lines. So I was like I just have to tell the truth. I
Gotcha.
have to tell the truth.
That honestly makes total and complete sense because, as we have said over and over again, she does not know what she's doing when it comes to making up an alternative version of the truth. So if you tell the truth, Ellie will basically just kind of burst apart at the seams
Yeah.
emotionally and say that she's tired of hiding her double life from her dad and friends. Logan will ask if she feels like she's pretending with him too, and she'll admit that the answer is yes. She confesses that Jason knows that she's with the crew, and Logan is shocked, and Ellie reassures him that she won't rat him out. But Logan just seems angry that she thinks that that's what he cares about, and he says he doesn't really care about the cops and that he sends her home. If you hide it, Ellie will say it's fine, and Logan will stop making eye contact with her. He will become upset and say that he can see that it's killing her, and insist that she goes home, saying again that she doesn't belong there. So either way, no matter what you say, Logan sends you home. I think the big difference is that when you tell the truth, you let the cat out of the bag that Jason is aware of what's going on. So Ellie will leave, and dejected, she walks a few blocks down the street and she sees Kaneko speaking to someone who is covered by shadows. So you can tell that he's talking to someone, but you can't see what the person looks like. So the man will press Kaneko for something, and Kaneko will tell him that he needs to stop coming to the garage because his son is there. The man will threaten to hurt the crew if he doesn't get what he wants, and the conversation will end when Ellie spooks a stray cat, and just hearing the noise of the cat in the street, they decide to leave. So, big cliffhanger. that
Right. I say, who is this shadow wearing this Badger's hat? Like, why is that the only thing that I can see?
just very very like conveniently placed under the shadow of the light.
Right. I'm like, okay. Now you're gonna have me looking for strays with Badger's hat. Like every
Oh my god. Every person with a badger hat, you're like looking at them like, is that the same
is
skin
that
tone
is
of
that
that
him?
person? Is
Is
that
that
the same
him?
earlobe?
I'm like, who is threatening my backup man? Like
Oh my god. So, okay, let's hit a couple of discussion questions before we jump into bingo. How are you feeling about Jason's offer at the present moment?
I mean, we're stuck between a rock and a hard place because
Mhm.
like there is no like The best case scenario is our dad finds out and we get, executed. The worst case scenario, we go to jail. That is the worst case scenario. Like, there is enough evidence to charge me with contaminating a crime scene, and I don't know if I want that. Like,
Right.
I, I don't know. I just hope he don't show up. I know he gonna show up, but like, it's just like, I don't know how we could be so careless. I don't know how this bracelet flew off her arm. I'm upset with her right now.
She should have gotten that shit fitted, is all I have to say.
Her dad don't know her wrist size. Like, come
First of
on.
all, how skinny your wrist gotta be for you got some like skinny ass wrists? Some like middle school boy ass wrist? That's the type of wrist that you have and she's just flying off?
No wonder they throwing her around all easily like this. She need to.
Right, and that shit look heavy. Like you trying to tell me she didn't know that she dropped it?
Okay.
The moment that shit slides off, you should be like, oh, I feel 10 pounds lighter. What the
Literally,
fuck?
literally, them charms is heavy.
No charms, they clickety clackety. She walking around the garage and she just shaking like a fucking dog collar. The moment that she was able to sneak up on somebody again is when they should have been like, something's different about her. I
Yeah, like, really though, really.
can
Like,
hear it shaking.
so yeah, I don't know how to feel about it. I'm scared. I'm a little
Makes me
nervous.
uncomfortable. I'll say this how I
Yeah,
feel. I feel
yeah.
uncomfortable about it.
It's like a loaded gun that's just pointed at
Mhm.
you.
Yes,
And every
and
time he sneezes, you're like, "Oh my god, okay, you good?
yeah, we
Okay, all
don't
right,
have a
my bad."
solution. We do not have a solution to get out of this yet. How do you feel about Logan pushing Ellie away?
It's understandable, but it's just like, I mean, it's kind of cliche, but it's understandable. It really is, because even when you go to him saying like, "Oh my god, like, I'm never gonna turn you in," he's like, "I don't know how many times I gotta tell you, I don't care about these people. Like, I only care
Right,
about you."
right.
And like, he's putting his money where his mouth is, because he's like, because I only care about you. Like, if we eliminate you from us, then that kind of like stops everything
Right.
to a T. Because I mean, I guess she could always say like, "Oh, they caught on, and I can't spy for you anymore." And then like what?
Yeah. I think I mean, one, this man clearly has a mantra for his life, which is, don't get attached. Is how people get hurt. And I think that's just what he's doing, it's what he knows how to do, is he knows only to push people away so you don't get hurt first. To me, I really like the way they personified his trauma. I think that it's understandable. I think that it's realistic. And also, of course, because I'm a Logan shipper, I think it's very romantic that, he realizes that as much as he wants to be close to her and he wants to have a relationship with her, he also understands that this is the one thing that's going to put her in danger. Very like Edward and Bella, where like you're breaking up with her so that way like she doesn't hurt herself, but ultimately you end up causing her more pain because you don't want her to get hurt. Very
Yes,
Edward and Bella esque.
yes. Because I mean, like, we're at the end of chapter 5, and Lord, she done got pushed. Well, from my point of view, she got pushed out of car. She bleeding.
Right,
Been involved
right.
in pink slips. We got
Yep.
one cop blackmailing us. Like, we missing classes. Like, there's so much going on
Yeah.
that, like, I can understand why he's like, you should be done with all of this and go back to
Yeah.
like your normal life.
And that's the whole thing. I do think it does feel like a little bit of an overreaction if you pick hide it. But if you just say tell the truth, I mean, she just word vomiting. She's like, I'm tired of this. I can't deal with it anymore. And then he's like, okay, we can't deal with it anymore. Then I'm going to go ahead and get out of your life then.
Yes,
I think it makes a lot,
yes.
I think it makes a lot more sense if you pick the tell the truth
I mean, I
option.
was not, and to be honest, as cliche as like the reaction is of like, "I love you so much, I have to protect you." I did not see this coming. I did not. I
Mm,
thought he said we were going to figure it out. He did not. He did
right.
not.
Mm-mm. No, he said, baby, you've got to go. I will figure this out on my own. So, what do you think is going to happen next in their relationship? You think this is it? This last time she's going to see Logan?
No, hell no. Mm-mm. I, I, this is what I hope. Okay,
Hmm.
I hope that something happens to where like they have to have another encounter. Like, I don't know what the
Hmm.
scenario would be, but I don't
Hmm.
want this whole like, I try to stay away from you and I can't. That can come later on. Like, I want like
Right.
a surprise interaction that's like what the hell are you doing here? And then suddenly they're
Right.
thrown into a car together, and they have to like figure something out. Like, you know, it would be good if the goons really do kidnap her, and then
Oh my god.
they get, you know,
Not
like,
you coming up with a kidnapping plot to get the two of them back together.
okay, I just need something more than like,
You don't want it to be like beginning of chapter 6, Logan knocking her door and being like, couldn't stay away from you. You want a little bit
yes,
more
like I don't,
tension than that.
that's going to turn me off. That's going to turn me
Yeah,
off.
because otherwise the conflict's gonna seem like unbelievable. You gotta let there be a little bit of drawn out tension. But I
Yes,
think the good news here is that like, Ellie's a part of the crew. They know that her dad's a cop. I don't think they're gonna just like let her walk away that easily. You know what I
that's
mean?
true. That
I
is
think she
true.
is gonna get pulled in back somehow, even if, it's not by Logan. Plus, don't they have her car?
That's what I'm saying. Like, hey, listen, when they said she was walking home, I said, listen, I know you ain't got your license, but like, I mean, someone could drive you your car. Like, I mean,
Well,
so,
then her dad's gonna be looking out like, oh, what's that car? Who's that car out
I guess you're
there? You know
right.
what I
You gotta
mean?
just hop
That's
on the
the
back of
thing.
Colt's motorcycle, and get dropped off.
Oh. Okay, is Logan still your number one ally?
He is. He
Mm-hmm.
is like
Period.
he is like he really is. That man
For
said
reasons we've
run.
already discussed. Mm-hmm.
That man said run.
She said it's a 5-on-2 fight. He said no, it's a 5-on-1. Get the fuck out of here.
Oof. Ooh.
I'm telling you, it's these little one-liners he gives that you're like, mm.
And there's so many that we kind of just like brushed past because they weren't like that significant. But like his dialogue, like you said, there's a lot of one liners that I'm like, damn, okay. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
like his
He
little fun fact
knows.
about Dallas, because I told him I was like, first of all, I didn't know you choose like what accent you want to give him because he's supposed to play like a foreign exchange student, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I just did not. I want him to butcher like a Paris accent or whatever
Mm-hmm.
the other one was. So I was like Dallas, and he was like, "Yeah, I lived there for a little bit." And it was just like that fun little fact that I'm like, oh, "Logan, okay, hi, baby."
Are you still sympathetic to the crew?
Mm, I don't know. Logan makes me unsympathetic because just of his viewpoint of like not like I don't
Mm-hmm.
care about these people. And I know that it's very
Right.
much like, a code exterior of like trying to protect himself. But like if you rocking with this crew for however long you've
Mm-hmm.
been rocking, I think it was at least a year. Why don't you
Mm-hmm.
have just like an ounce of like emotional attachment to them? Like I'm not saying you
Mm-hmm.
gotta like, turn yourself in to protect them or like sacrifice yourself to protect them. But he really do not care
Mm-hmm.
about these people. And it just makes me
No.
feel like maybe I shouldn't either. Like, I don't know. It's
Mm-hmm.
weird. Like, I mean, Toby, you know what? He kind of got on my good side this chapter because he was a little funny. He was funny as hell. But and then like the band together, like they did
Uh-huh.
that for you. They could have all just escaped,
Yeah.
and you're not gonna do
It
that
is
for them,
interesting because you see them writing up for him, but I think if the situation was reversed, it'd be questionable if he would do that for them.
right? And
Mhm.
I'm so ride or die for him that if he not ride or
Mhm.
die for them, I don't know if I can
Mhm.
be. You feel me? I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Because the thing is, like, the only experience you have with riding with a crew is with Logan. It's like if the only advice that he's giving you is leave, and it's like, why wouldn't you just leave if he's not in
Exactly.
danger? You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Yeah. Okay, I see your point. Do you think that moving forward you're going to keep Ellie kind of like prioritizing school or like at with the end of this chapter being the way that it is, do you think that that changed the way that you're going to try to characterize Ellie in future chapters?
No, I really. Here's the thing. Like, she's so close to the finish line of like graduating and getting a high school diploma that
It's
like,
literally her last semester and it's like at least post March, right? Like it's
right.
sometime March. I mean, we're like a month and a half away from graduating.
I'm not saying that she has to like have her future life set out and like,
Mhm.
have college as like a be sure thing, but like at least take the steps to fortify your success that like if you want to in the future go to college, you can.
Yeah.
Girl, because like if you want to go in the future and you got to go back and get your GED, I don't want to. No,
It's gonna be bad. You're not gonna get into your school of your dreams.
Exactly. Like, let's focus on, this last semester.
Yeah.
You know, you ain't gotta be valedictorian, okay? But let's be like top five, okay?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I understand. And my last question before we get into bingo is, who do you think the man Kaneko was talking to? Like, do you think you know who that is? And what info do you think this man wants?
Oh my god, what if it's our dad?
Oh,
Listen, after the betrayal, I'm just really trying to think like who. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to think like, oh, maybe it's Jason. Maybe it's, maybe it's him. I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like it has to be someone that like we've came across. Maybe
mm,
not, but like I think it would be interesting if it's someone that we've
okay,
already seen before. Because if
okay.
it's just some random shadow figure, why? I mean, it wouldn't matter to us if we saw his face or not. But they went out of
Hmm.
his way to hide them. Hide the person
Mm,
that Kaneko was talking to.
okay,
So I'm thinking it's someone we know.
okay, okay. Interesting. Okay, so let's move on to bingo. Oh, as a reminder, we do bingo like most episodes. I don't want to say every episode, but the thing that's a little bit different about this bingo is this bingo was not made by us. It was made by a person on Reddit. I'll grab the credit and put it somewhere like in the episode notes. But the bingo was made sarcastically, so that's just a good reminder for those of you who haven't. It's been a while since we've recorded an episode on Ride or Die,
Right.
so just in case y'all forgot, a lot of these prompts are going to be shaped by the person trying to make it sarcastically. Okay, so the first box is Logan makes fun of you for being a good student. No,
No,
would
he's never
never.
done that. Yeah.
Your gang will definitely have a car crash at some point. This has not happened. Your father will have to pick you up from a police station, maybe next chapter, but
Yeah.
at this point, I don't know.
when Jason backstabs us. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All of your high school friends will worry that you've become unrecognizable.
Um, no, no, not to that extent.
Really? You
No.
don't think that Rhea was kind of like hinting at that she's like, you were developing a whole life? Because I feel like Darius has already said this like 5 times, where he's like, I'm concerned about
Darius has, but like, is she unrecognizable because she's not opening up, or because she genuinely just doesn't know who's in front of her? Because I feel like if I tell you something about myself and you say like, "Oh, I can see you doing that," that's not necessarily like unrecognizable. You know what? But this is out of her nature. This is out of her element.
That's why I think Rhea, because all that Ellie does is hang out with Rhea.
That's true. This is
That's
so.
like her only friend.
No, she wasn't out here junior, sophomore year racing pink slips. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. This
Wanna
is
mark
totally
it?
out of her element. Yeah.
Okay, we'll go ahead and mark it. Not me peer pressuring you into marking a box.
No, but it makes sense because like I'm just so used to Ellie's antics that in my head this has been going on for a minute now.
Right. No, and remember, it's probably been at most like a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Right, right.
Okay, Logan's gang will involve you in dangerous missions to test your trust.
Nope.
Yeah, that hasn't happened yet. You will emotionally manipulate your dad to help your friends, even if it's against his integrity.
Not yet.
Yeah, I don't think that that's happened yet. Your teachers worry that you are failing your grades, but you don't care.
I don't know not one teacher's name. Like
No, literally not one. You'll have a fight with your dad over your new healthy lifestyle. I don't think that's happened yet.
no.
A rival gang will challenge Logan. You have to defend his honor, bitch.
We marking it so fast.
Ah!
We marking it so fast.
Oh my god, I cannot believe how accurate that actually makes me upset how accurate that is. Okay, you'll argue with your high school friends you've known for years just to protect someone you met a week ago.
No, no argument yet.
Well, I feel like there was a little bit of an argument, but it wasn't to protect Logan. It was just about Ellie being difficult. So
Being a
I won't
little,
mark it.
yeah, yeah, being a little flaky.
Yeah. Logan will show you the unsanitary places of LA, which look like a dump from the outside, but modern inside. No.
Mm-mm.
Your dad will prohibit you from seeing Logan, but you will escape. No. When Logan and his gang get arrested, you'll cry river because they'll blame you as the mole. No. You'll justify everything Logan does by saying that no one understands him like you do. No. Logan will be busted carrying drugs. No. Logan's antics will get you hospitalized. No. Logan will save you from kidnappers he sent you to as a part of his loyalty test.
If we find out the next chapter that Logan sent this,
Oh my god.
he paid Salazar, we gonna have more issues than this bingo. No,
Logan.
my man would not do that.
No. Logan will become a fugitive, but you'll be by his side. No. Logan will call you nicknames and bully you. No. All right, that's the last box. I mean, we marked two. Some of these are so sarcastic. I don't know if we're really gonna get bingo,
Right,
y'all.
right.
We're just here for the last at this point. Okay, and that's the end of our episode. So thank you everybody so much for listening. We release episodes every single Saturday, and we announce on our socials when the next episode goes live and what the topic is going to be like. Also, just as a selfish plug for myself, I do stream on Twitch every Tuesday, 4 p.m. PT, 7 p.m. ET, and we don't stream choices because I do too much choices content in a week. If I did, I would quit streaming if I had to stream choices. So we play other interactive fiction or visual novels. Currently, we're playing Romance Club. I don't know when I'm going to release this episode. It might be a different book by the time that this comes out. But either way, I do stream on Twitch every Tuesday. So if you want to follow, it's twitch.tv/playchoicespodcast. All right. Thank you so much for joining, Lucas.
No problem. Always. Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody. Bye.